Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Adam Johnson here. And today, I'm going to tell you a story about why I hate today. This story will explain the title. Today is May 12th, and all this happened last year. Dramatic story, and this is a true story. But there was a turning point in my life. That's what made me remember May 12th, 2015. I went to Worlds of Fun in Kansas City, Kansas. I woke up all excited and hyper, getting ready to load the buses. I go to the school and we load the buses. If you cannot tell, I am reading a piece of paper. This is my real story, yes, Skit, but I kind of forgot, The year went on. Once again, I go to World's Fun with my school, Richard Warren Middle School. I get in the entrance of Worlds of Fun, and I felt so excited I couldn't even wait a second. And I have Mountain Dew with me too. And that can of Mountain Dew, it didn't help my excitement either. It just made me more excited. I walk with two close friends of mine, and we decide to ride the Patriot first. The Patriot is this ride. It's kind of like a roller coaster, alright? But the ride has twists. A loop that takes you upside down. And it has more twists. And link will be in the description if you're not familiar with the Patriot at Worlds of Fun. Mine wasn't really so ridiculous because it was the first ride, but also it was early in the morning. It was 8 o'clock in the morning, 9-ish. A few people had so much excitement and terror. Even tears were streaming down one's face when leaving the ride. I get on the ride. I feel the pressure. The roller coaster first feel pressure. My heart was beating so hard, I thought my heart was going to explode. Not only because of the ride, but I never rode a roller coaster before that moment. I go down the first twist, already screaming, "Whoa!" Going through the loop, upside down. I closed my eyes and screamed in fun the whole ride. When the ride was over, I felt so accomplished, and I felt like I made history. I go on the Prowler next. The Prowler was good too, but not as terrorizing as the Patriot. All the Prowler is a basic roller coaster where you go up a hill to start, you go down that hill, and the ride is more curvy, not twisty or outside of a loop. After riding the Prowler, one of my friends asked me to go to the Boomerang, and the Boomerang is a ride to where you start uphill backwardly, but then you get pushed forward into twists, and you go into a loop. You don't go on the outside just like the Patriot. You go in a loop, and you start to go back uphill. But when that thing drops, the exact thing you rode goes backwards. Link to that in the description. Link to an example of that is in the description, along with the Prowler, if you're not familiar with the two. So, back to one of my friends. I said to him, "No, I told myself not to go on the Boomerang." "Oh, come on, please," he shouted. I replied, "Nope, I'm not getting on. I'll pay you $50 if you ride the boomerang with me. He untruthfully promises. No, I rejected. I didn't want to go on the boomerang because of how the ride looks and how dumb it is. After those rejections, I find carnival games. I try the one that's a basketball shootout. It's not the three-point shootout. It's more of a free throw shootout. The hoop is so small. The only possible way you can make the basket is a swish. I had $30 with me. I tried the game, and the game costs $1. I missed shortly, but I tried again. Ball bounces off the rim. Tried 8 more times. Still no luck. I had $20 left. And I had plans for the money. Like buying a shirt and tie at the thrift store. Or walking my niece to Dairy Queen. Yes, I have a niece. I stopped playing carnival games. And got on a ride to make me feel better. This ride was the Mamba. The Mamba was a ride that takes you uphill a few times. But the first hill is the biggest hill of the whole ride. Link to that in the description if you're not familiar with it. When I go up the first hill, just like the Patriot, my heart was pounding. But then I thought to myself, it's a good thing I'm young. No offense, guys. On top of the first hill, I felt so high in the sky, I felt like gravity lost control of me. I go down the hill at 90 miles an hour, and I go back up a hill in the ride. The ride didn't turn out to be terrifying after all. But I do know that I feel better and didn't think about losing $10 to a carnival game that I didn't win. I went to a few carnival games, but not the same one that I lost $10 to. I was with a few friends this time. We thought we'd play this basketball game that was this huge, long net. And the hoop is as high as a street lamp, a New York City street lamp. I was lucky the game only cost $5 for 3 shots. And I had 2 friends by me. So we decided each one of us gets a shot. 3 shots later, still no prize. I'm left with $15. And I didn't want to lose all my money to give myself life problems. But I still want to walk out with the basketball. I was still with the same friends that played the street lamp basketball shot. I went to this carnival game. The game was a 3-point shootout. In order to win the basketball is you have to make enough threes to beat the high score. The high score was 14 baskets. The game was $5. One of my friends that was with me wanted to try to win one. So I went and spend $5 on his try, hoping that he would win me hopefully that he'd win me a basketball that I wanted to get. But he failed. Unfortunately. I paid myself to try. Not enough threes for basketball. I only have $5 left. And that's just enough to get a $5 lunch at Dairy Queen. I was still with those 2 friends. We rode the Viking Voyager a few times because it was a warm, sunny day last year. This day last year, it was a warm, sunny day. I felt a bit better, but still depressed and frustrated that I gave myself life problems to solve. I didn't care that much about my money anymore. So, I talked to one of my friends who was with me. Zach. Yes, Zach Porter. Hey, want to try a carnival game to at least win something for a friend of ours? I asked. Yeah, sure. Want to try the bowling one? He replied, asking me a question. Yeah, I want to win one of those big, gigantic minions for Shayla. And I was kind of interested in Shayla. I kind of was back then. But now I'm not. That just went away. Yeah. Same here. Zach replies. And we head to another carnival game. And it was a bowling game. I go to the bowling game with Zach and Toby. And Toby is a friend that tried the 3-point shootout but failed miserably. The game costs $2 for one try, but $5 for 3 tries. And again, I was lucky. They had 5 pins. If you knock them all down and get a strike, you win a minion, a gigantic minion. If you don't win the minion, but you have a chance for a spare and win different prizes that they have, which are not minions. And I forgot to mention, Shayla loves minions. I spend my last 5 on the game for Zach, Toby, and I. I do know that I am broke the rest of the way. Toby hits 2 pins on the first try, but fails to make a spare. Zach tried, and he only got a pin better than Toby in his first round, but he also failed to make up the spare. It was my turn to roll. I could feel the pressure in my right hand, and yes, I'm a righty. I felt so much under duress, not even the pressure to where you're a closer and you're making a save in Game 7 in the World Series, not even that pressure. I rolled the ball dead center, and extremely roughly close to a strike as the last pin was trying to balance back, but the pin was likely going to fall down. The lady who was running the game balanced the pin back with her hand. My friends and I shout out, "Aww!" Like, we almost won something. Really. On the bright side, I pick up the spare. And we won a Halloween baseball bat. Not what I wanted, but hopefully Shayla would like it. I felt a bit better after winning something, finally. After a relatively close first roll, I watched Zach and Toby play a few carnival games. They thought they could win Shayla some better. They thought they could win a minion, but not the big one. We see a place to where they planted roses, and those roses were red, and they were fresh, and they looked like they were done planting just then. Zach says to me, "These are nice roses." I respond with, "Yeah, they are. Want to take out a few?" Zach suspiciously asks, "Sounds kind of risky, but what the heck?" I responded, depressingly. Zach and I pulled out 4 roses, 2 each. I wanted to give one to Shayla to make up that strongly close strike, and one to a long-time friend of mine since elementary school years, Paige. And yes, since then, since elementary school, I was interested in Paige. I was interested. But I never did ask her out. Zach asks me, you know who I want to give these roses to? I respond with, what? He responds to me with, I want to give these roses to Shayla and Paige. I reply with, same here, thinking that he's a dick. He is a dick. It was time to meet in our meeting spot. I saw Paige chatting with Zach. I gave her the rose I had for her. She was so happy. She even gave me a hug for it. That's what friends are for, I strongly say. Shayla walked up. I started the conversation with, hey, you know that game that has huge minions? I asked. Yeah, I want to win those minions so freaking bad, she said. I was playing that game and almost won you that. I said, oh, she frowns and disappointedly says, here's what I got you. As I gave her the Halloween bet, this is really good, Shayla sarcastically says. I also got you a rose, I say and give her. Oh, this is so great. Again, Shayla sarcastically says. Shayla was so disappointed, the rose even bent itself easily. And Shayla sadly walks away, leaving me depressed. I see Zach hanging out with Paige. I tried to chase them. Like, I wanted to also hang out with them. But I depressingly thought to myself, what's the point? And I let them go. And my depression just got strong then. It was just strong. Nothing can make me feel better. I go online to Steelhawk just because. And I see Zach and Paige kiss lip to lip. I'm like, they just met! I felt so much gloom. I wanted to cry my butt off. But I did not because the depression wouldn't let me. I was getting ready to leave my school. I was with Zach's friend, not Toby. When Zach arrived, I depressingly sang to him, Zach and Paige, sitting in a tree. Kissing. Zach's friends was giving burns at that while Zach was just giggling at it. Yes, giggling at it. I was still depressed, strongly. I got on the bus. My seatmate was asleep. Traffic was extremely crazy. There was literally a bus blocking cars on the highway. And I just sit there and ask myself, can't this day get any worse? And it got worse. I arrived back at the school at 5 p.m. I had my mom pick me up and drop me off at my house. In the car, my mom questioned me, did you have fun at Worlds of Fun? I tried my best to be in an amused mood pretty quick because if I sound depressed, she will question what happened and I didn't want to talk about it at the time. I had fun. I rode on the Patriot and the Mamba. My mom was surprised with pride and proudly says, I'm very proud of you, Adam. I respond, thanks, Mom. We come back home. I come home and I notice my dad drunk on the porch. He questions me, did you get on any of the roller coasters? He sounded like he just came out of a bar. I respond, trying to be an entertaining behavior, yeah, I rode the Patriot and the Mamba. Well, that's great. "You must be Charlie Brown," he said with an inside joke. I only fake laughed at it. On the inside, he screams at me, "Hello? You have homework tonight." I depressingly reply, "What's the homework?" "You have to get a scorecard and score every defensive play on tonight's game." He drunkenly responded to my question, "But Dad, the Patriot got me dizzy." I lied. He complained. "I don't care," he yells. "I want you to scorecard the Royals and Rangers game tonight." He drunkenly commands. And yes, it may sound funny, it may sound like I'm bad, but this is my best voice, okay? Okay, now back to the story. "What's the point?" I say. "I don't have a teacher to grade it." I create a good point. My dad responds, You do have a point. Lay on the couch to let your dizziness go away." I know dizziness won't disappear that quick when you're laying down, but when my dad is drunk on gin, he sounds so stupid he can't even hear himself talk. I lay there for a bit, thinking about the day, and I want to do something to cheer me up. I head down to the basement to see what my 33-year-old brother was up to, aka Joey Cracker. It turns out he was drunk too, talking to one of his friends. He notices me and tries to be like my dad, involving me in unnecessary situations. He starts talking good about me. I don't like when people talk behind my back, to be honest, especially when they're drunk. So, I run up back the stairs. I noticed my dad watching anime music videos on YouTube. When one of the videos he was watching went over, I stupidly say, like a 6-year-old, "Joey's drinking beer and drunk." "Oh," he surprisingly says, and watches another anime music video. Later that evening, I was laying on the couch, watching the Royals Rangers game. Yes, those two are playing on this exact day, 366 days ago, today. I could hear noises on the porch. The noises sound like two wasted, drunk people at a bar talking on a Friday night. I walk out to see what's going on. It was my dad and Joey Cracker talking and drinking gin together. I thought it was cute because my dad never shares alcohol when sober, but it was sad to watch at the same time because they both were wasted drunk. Then my dad notices me, of course, and demands, "Adam, why don't you get a chair and watch us?" I murmured and just went on ahead to get a chair, to be their security guard. I just sit there, and sit there, waiting for something to happen. All they were doing was sitting there talking about nonsense and clogging down more gin, while I just sit there being more and more depressed, and the depression just keeps stronger and stronger and stronger. And it's already got strong. The depression could have gotten worse that day. I could have killed myself. Well, I just sit there. Okay, not that. I get up to see the score of the game. I say to my dad, "They're tied at 2. Alrighty, you can sit back down." 30 minutes later, the exact same thing. But when I checked the score this time, the Rangers were leading the Royals 3-2. Almost at the end of the game, I was still outside. Joey Cracker gets up and squashes down in the yard without even taking a step after standing up. My dad and I grabbed him by the arms and carried him to the couch. And he was so heavy, the job itself was like carrying a 100-pound bag of sand on your shoulders. When we got to the couch, we gently placed him perfectly while letting all that weight out. The Royals and Rangers were tied at 4 and were ready to go into extra innings. I was tired enough that I wanted to end the day and sleep the rest of the way in my bed. I get out on my bed, tired, strongly depressed. I think about the day. I thought things like, this is the most depressing day in my life so far. The only thing good about today was getting on a roller coaster. Once again, I never rode a roller coaster before the Patriot. This day could have been worse. There were noises downstairs, and those noises were so loud, it was like my dad and Joey Cracker at a bar, and that bar was underground. I decided to ignore them, like it was my first good choice of the day. I was so dizzy that I felt the bed twisting, like the Patriot was. I learned things like, don't waste money on something you're more likely not going to win. 2 wrongs cannot make a right. If you have dreams or goals, catch them now. Otherwise, they may never happen. From that day on, I will never forget May 12th. I'll never forget May 12th, 2015. May 12th will be there for the rest of my life. That, ladies and gentlemen, is why I hate May 12th. It's a depressing story. Anyway, this is a room in my house, by the way, if you guys were wondering. So, this is a vlog. I just want to tell you why I hate today, because this is the 1-year anniversary of it. The 1-year anniversary! And today has been going out just good. I haven't gone to World's Fun today, and from May 12th, I don't want to go back to World's Fun. I don't, because that's what made my day bad from the start. Especially when that bowling, where the suspense was, and from when Shayla sadly walks away. If there was a knife or a rope or something, or a guillotine, I would have killed myself then. I wouldn't be here. This YouTube channel would not exist. But you should be glad that I'm still here. That's probably one of the days that my depression just like strong as. And that kind of explains why in my reaction video to where I react to Happy Birthday Lana Kyler Quell, to where Dragonfire says, shout out to Zach Barr, I was like, oh my god, Zach Barr's a dick. This explains why. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. More vlogs, more stories I'll tell you about. May not be in paper, but it may be, just in case if I forget. And I'll see you guys around. And I hope you understand why I hate today. And you are going to have a day like this. You are going to have a day like that in your life. No matter what you do, you're going to have a day like that. See you guys around. Bye, everyone. Sorry if it sounded creepy.